Hi, good afternoon. I'm here today outlining another thing that we've done to improve our GeoPro travel trailer. This one has to do with the electrical system, and we went ahead and installed the surgeguard EMS. And EMS, I think, stands for what is it? Electrical management or electricity management system. And what it basically does is it monitors the electricity that's going into your travel trailer. If there's a surge, it'll cut the connection between the power and the trailer, or power source and the trailer, and it'll also keep an eye on the voltage. If the voltage is too high, it'll cut off. If the voltage is too low, it'll also cut off in order to protect your trailer and everything that's connected inside of it. And right now you heard it click. We'll go over why it clicked in a second. And I'm not sure why that power on light is pulsing on and off like that. I think it has to do with the phone, because I don't think I see that happening here in currently. I think I just see that through the screen. It's kind of weird, but it's really easy to connect. I'll go over the steps that it took to install it. Obviously I can't show you how to install it because I didn't record that process, but it's pretty easy. Basically what it involves is to undo the connector from your RV, unplug that wire, basically plug one end here and plug the other end that was plugged into your trailer connector to the other end, and that's it pretty much. There's some other in between steps, we'll go over those in a second, but just the first step on this I'll go ahead and show you. On the outside of the trailer is undoing the outlet that's on your RV, on the side of your RV. Let's go check that out. And right now I'm plugged into power. Let me go ahead and disconnect the power. Of course you don't want to do this while the power is running. And here's the plug. First thing you want to do is undo these 4 screws. I'm sure it would probably be very similar in your RV too. I know if it's Rockwood GeoPro, it would probably be exactly the same. But you undo those 4 screws, and what will happen is you'll pull it out, and along with it on the inside will be that orange cable that you saw. It's a 30 amp cable, and I don't know if you can see here, but inside you can see on those 3 prongs are some screws. Basically what you would do is you would liberate that cable by unscrewing those 3 screws, or loosen that cable, sorry, by undoing those 3 screws, and then just routing those to the EMS. And what you would want to do also is get a length of 30 amp wire and reroute that section that you installed on the EMS, or rather replace that section that you installed on the EMS. So one end would go here to the top of the EMS, and the other end that you took off from here would go to the bottom of the EMS. And that 30 amp cable, you can get that anywhere at any big box store or online or whatever. I ended up using like 2 feet, I think, but I had to buy the roll of 10 feet. You might be able to buy it by the foot, you know, just get a good measurement and, you know, get her done. So let me go ahead and connect the power again. And this will make more sense once we're inside, I guess. Power's on. So, you know, as I said before, there's that length of 30 amp cable. The length of 30 amp cable that was connected there before is down here. This is specifically if you have a GeoPro trailer of this type, the 16BH from 2020 and onward probably. The length of cable that I had available to me in order to connect to the bottom of the EMS was kind of limited. I don't know if you can see the length of cable. It's like, you see there, it kind of goes, it attaches to that bundle and then it goes down into the hole there. I didn't have much cable. I wanted to put it somewhere else other than here because it was really hard to access that area and screw into the, screw it in the way you see it there, screw in the EMS. Some people in our trailer will put it over here on this side. I mean, that's a much better area, you know, it's more accessible, but the length of cable that I had there wasn't enough to be able to move it to the other side, and also I didn't want to put another extension on it to be able to move it back there, so I just left it here. But your trailer, you know, if you don't have a GeoPro 16 VHS, it might be different. You might be able to do other things, place it in other places. So you see that light flashing. When you connect power to the trailer, what will happen is that the EMS will start going through a process. There's a delay between the time that you connect the power and that the power is on inside the trailer. I think it's about 90 seconds. And what will end up happening is that once that time passes, you'll hear a click, and that power on light will come on. And there's a separate little screen readout that goes inside the trailer. That was optional on this EMS. Sometimes it's included in other EMSs. I know the Progressive Industry has one included. And I had installed that initially, but in my opinion, it wasn't very good. It was really loud, but we'll get into that in a bit. But in order for me to install this here, like I said before, I ended up getting that length of cable that I got from the Home Depot and running it here and attaching it up here, and then attaching the bottom part of the cable that comes from the RV to the load side of this surge protector. And you know, just basically ran power to it and it turned on. In my case, I had to get creative with installing it into the trailer because you know, this was the only area that I was able to install it in because of the issues with the bottom cable that I had being too short. So I ended up getting a piece of I think that's 3/4 inch plyboard. I don't know if you see it in the back there, but I got a piece of 3/4 inch plyboard. I cut it about the size of the EMS, and I went ahead and mounted it on there with these kind of like bushings. They're studded on both sides, and I screwed one side to the plyboard and the other side I screwed it to the EMS. And that kind of helps because the EMS itself also makes like a vibrating sound. You know, I have it bolted to this piece of aluminum structure that's in the trailer, and I was able to hear it from the inside, like a hum. It's like a light hum. I think with time it eventually got better. I wasn't able to hear it anymore, but I put those isolators in to try to combat that, and I think it helped a little bit. Not only that, but it also gives the EMS a gap on the back so that you can have some airflow. So if you do install one of these specifically to the surgeguard, I think the instructions tell you to mount it vertically, and if you mount it horizontally, I think it cannot be facing upward, which means you basically can't put it on the floor of your trailer. I think it would have to be horizontally facing, you know, obviously an opposing wall or something, not going facing straight upward. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe there's some sort of mechanical components in there that need to be a certain way and not facing straight up. But, you know, read the instructions if you get this one. It'll probably explain more. And let's go inside the trailer to show you the controller that it comes with, or actually the optional controller that one can buy with this. Sorry about kids' diapers are there. But so here's the readout that is optional with the surgeguard. I think the surgeguard was about $260 and this was another $60. It was a little more expensive than the other EMS that I just mentioned that I liked less than this one. And I think it was Progressive Industries. I don't remember what the name of it was now, but I had originally bought that one and installed it, and I had a really loud hum from it that didn't go away. And I ended up reaching out to customer support, and they never responded. It was like 3 or 4 times that I reached out to them. They never responded. So I ended up taking a chance with the surgeguard, and you know, I trust Southwire. They make a lot of stuff. They make Romex, so you know, they would definitely know about electricity. And you know, pretty much right now we're happy with it. I mean, we haven't had any events where other than low voltage that we needed to have access to EMS, but you know, just the low voltage cutoff was good enough for us. Hopefully we don't have to deal with the surge, but if we do, I think the surgeguard will take care of it for sure. More so than the other EMS, I would think. And again, this is just personal opinion. You know, everyone has a personal opinion, but I think I'm kind of jaded because the other company didn't have very good customer service, and they weren't basically standing behind their product because they weren't responding to me. So, you know, here's a readout. It's showing that right now we're drawing 1 amp, and it's showing the voltage that's going into the trailer, you know, 119, not a, well, 120 now. And I'll just show you the fluctuation of it when I turn on the AC. I suspect that we might get a low voltage situation and it might cut off, but let's see. So that's the AC on. You see we're drawing 12 amps down to 110 volts. And part of that is because I basically have the trailer connected to a bit of a short run on an extension because the trailer power cable didn't reach to the outlet that I needed it to reach. But so far so good. You know, it's basically showing you a readout of what the trailer is drawing. And this is good if you are planning on building up your solar panel array on your trailer. It gives you an idea of all the loads that you're going to have running, and it'll help you plan for that solar array. So make sure that you have a large enough battery to do whatever it is you need to do. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and post links to the things that I talked about here. And if you have any questions about this installation or anything along the lines of this, please feel free to reach out. Thanks a lot. This is just a follow-up to the video I just did about the EMS, and I had the AC running and I got a low voltage error and the EMS clicked off. So that's just to show you that it's actually working, it's doing something, and now it's showing that there's a delay for it to get started on the controller here. And you know, just FYI, should you buy this and install it and something like that happen, it's normal for that to happen. That basically means that the EMS is taking care of you. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks a lot.